The following episode contains very mature content. It is both graphic and disturbing. Discretion is strongly advised. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Slightly Warped Podcast. And I'm Rick, joined as always by Big Show. If you notice the disclaimer prior to this episode, you know that not only is this another True Crime Thursday, but this one goes deep. How are you today, Show?
I'm okay. I'm mentally preparing myself for our show today.
Yes. Now I know it's titled The Toybox Killer. We're talking about David Parker Ray. Um, he's an American kidnapper, torturer, and serial rapist. And he's also a suspected serial killer. He's kidnapped, raped, and tortured an unknown number of women over many decades at his trailer in Elephant Butte, New Mexico, and occasionally assisted by his accomplices, including his daughter and his girlfriend slash partner. Um, Ray was suspected by authorities and accused by accomplices of murdering up to 60 of his victims. However, no bodies or definitive evidence have been uncovered linking him to any murders. Here's the thing though.
Well, bodies have been found. They just no evidence that he was the killer.
Yeah, no, nothing linked to him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
nothing linked. Um, the way this man went about it starts from start to finish is disturbing, but the way he went about it, it's I got no words for it. As a matter of fact, I've got some snippets because he had a recording which is almost an hour long that he literally played for all of his victims, kind of like a welcome kind of thing, for lack of a better word,
An
preparing them.
instructional, an
Yeah,
instructional welcome. Um, and he did it because he got tired of explaining himself to his victims. He had so many. Let that sink in before we even go any further. He had so many victims in his lifetime that he felt the need to create a welcome to hell audio that
yes.
he decided to play for his victims. Now, when was he caught? What year was he caught?
Let me see if it tells me here.
I'll look too.
Okay, let me see. It wasn't 2002 because that's okay. He was
1999
yeah,
was when he was
99,
caught.
99,
He
went to trial, convicted in 2001.
he created this tape in July of 1993.
So, yeah, that's 6 and almost 7 years of women having to listen to this.
Right.
And,
Now,
and, and
that's not counting as all the women before 1993.
yeah. Now, I've got some sound bites from this. Obviously, we're not going to play the whole hour long thing, but
No.
I've got 3 or 4 sound bites, which are about 2 to 3 minutes apiece. And I want to go through them one at a time, listen to one, get back, talk to you guys, discuss it amongst ourselves, and then go to the next one because I'm setting this up like this. The way this man went about it, you're going to be shocked. And I want you to imagine yourself as one of his captives. You have just been caught, uh, and you've been brought back to his home. You are chained up, you are blindfolded, and he wants you to listen to this. And an hour would seem like an eternity for anyone who's captured. But just listen to this first part here, and we'll get back to you.
Now, before you
Um,
hit play, again,
yes,
I want to say to those people that are watching and are listening, if you are easily offended, if you are easily felt queasy about things like this, I would suggest fast forwarding to when we start talking again or just moving on. As much as I want you to be a part of this show, watch the show, um, for me, a true fan of true crime, this disturbs me to my core. So I just want to throw that out there. I know we've got all these warnings up there at the beginning, but just before we do it, from Big Show to the audience, you just consider yourself warned.
absolutely. All right, here's the first one.
Oh there, bitch. Are you comfortable right now? I doubt it. Wrists and ankles chained, gagged, probably blindfolded. You are disoriented and scared too, I would imagine. Perfectly normal under the circumstances. For a little while, at least, you need to get your shit together and listen to this tape. It is very relevant to your situation. I'm going to tell you, in detail, why you have been kidnapped, what's going to happen to you, and how long you'll be here. I don't know the details of your capture because this tape is being created July 23rd, 1993 as a general advisory tape for future female captives.
Mm,
The information I'm going to give you is based on my experience dealing with captives over a period of several years. If, at a future date, there are any major changes in our procedures, the tape will be upgraded. Now, you are obviously here against your will. Totally helpless. Don't know where you're at. Don't know what's going to happen to you. You're very scared or very pissed off. I'm sure that you've already tried to get your wrists and ankles loose. No, you can't. Now you're just waiting to see what's going to happen next. You probably think you're going to be raped, and you're fucking sure right about that. Our primary interest is in what you've got between your legs. You'll be raped, thoroughly and repeatedly, in every hole you've got. Because, basically, you've been snatched and brought here for us to train and use as a sex slave. Sound kind of far out? I suppose it is to the uninitiated, but we do it all the time. It's going to take a lot of adjustment on your part, and you're not going to like it a fucking bit. But I don't give a big rat's ass about that. It's not like you're going to have any choice about the matter. You've been taken by force, and you're going to be kept and used by force. What all this amounts to is that you're going to be kept naked and chained up like an animal, to be used and abused anytime we want to, any way that we want to. And you might as well start getting used to it because you're going to be kept here and used until such time as we get tired of fucking around with you.
okay, that right there is enough to put fear into any captive.
Yes.
And just in those first few minutes, he laid it out. You've been captured. There's nothing you can do about it. This is what we're going to do to you. That
Instant
brutal.
psychological, instant psychological terror, uh, torture, and beginning that mental domination for compliance.
Yes. Uh,
And his nonchalant way of explaining um, is chilling, is blood curdling. That just his the way he's describing the things that are going to happen, and yeah, yeah.
yeah, this man, he's had some issues, bro. All right. Before we go any further, though, I do want to get to the second part. Um, and this is just a little bit further down the line, but he reinforces some things, and he lays out a little bit more, as if you thought, is there more? And there's more.
There's a ton more
Yeah,
that
there's
I'm
more.
sure we're not going to play, but that there's a ton more. Yes.
But let me just go through this part right here, and we'll get back to you guys in a couple minutes, and deconstruct this man's mind if we can.
Yes, and with a little practice in deception, most of them is very easy to get with a little risk. At this point, it makes little difference what category you fall into. You're here, and we're going to make the most of it. You're going to be kept in the hidden slave room. It is relatively soundproof, escape-proof, and it is completely stocked with devices and equipment to satisfy our sexual fetishes and deviations. There may or may not be another girl in the room. Occasionally, for variety, we like to keep two slaves at the same time. In either case, as the new girl, you'll definitely be getting the most attention for a while. Now, as I said earlier, you're going to be kept like an animal. I guess I've been doing this too long. I've been raping bitches ever since I was old enough to jerk off and tie the little girls' hands behind their back. As far as I'm concerned, you're a pretty piece of meat to be used and exploited. I don't give a flying fuck about your mind or how you feel about this situation. You may be married, have a kid or two, boyfriend, girlfriend, job, car payment. Fuck it. I don't give a rat's ass about any of that. I don't want to hear about it. It's something you're going to have to deal with after you're turned loose. I make it a point never to like a slave, and I fucking sure don't have any respect for you. Here, your status is no more than that of one of the dogs or of one of the animals out in the barn. Your only value to us is the fact that you have an attractive, usable body. And, like the rest of our animals, you will be fed and watered, kept in good physical condition, kept reasonably clean, and allowed to use the toilet when necessary. In return, you're going to be used hard, especially during your first few days while you're new and fresh. You're going to be kept and chained in a variety of different positions, usually with your legs or knees forced wide apart. Your pussy and asshole is going to get a real workout, especially your asshole because I'm into animal sex. Also, both of those holes are going to be subjected to a lot of use with some rather large dildos, among other things. And it goes without saying, there's going to be a lot of oral sex. On numerous occasions, you're going to be forced to suck cock and eat pussy until your jaws ache and your tongue is sore.
All right.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
disturbed is hardly the word to use for this man.
Wow.
Um, I don't know a soul alive that wouldn't be in a state of fear at that point.
Absolute terror.
Yes, and and he's not yelling in this thing. He is
Mm-mm.
very direct. He's very matter of fact. This is how it is. This is how it's going to be. This is what you're going to do, and this is what I'm going to do to you. And to me, that is more disturbing, hands down, than anybody who yells, screams, or uses brute force. It's
Now, I
calm,
don't.
calculated. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say I don't know what the third clip is, because I sent you the entire tape and let you edit which clips you wanted to show.
Well,
But
we can go ahead and run through the third and fourth clip. That way, if there's something
well,
that you
hold
want to
on.
bring up,
No,
we
no.
don't.
Well, I just what I'm not going to mention anything in the clip, but so I just painting the picture for the audience who's never heard of
Mhm.
this guy, and haven't had the opportunity to actually hear the unedited audio that was released to the public. Um,
I will
the
say
only
this
Go ahead.
before you say that. For those of you who are watching us on YouTube, I will go ahead and link the actual full hour clip. That way, if you want to see this and hear the whole thing, you can go ahead and do that.
The what I was going to say, and I know we'll probably go into detail more about the things that he did and things, but one thing that he did do to his victims, because he he was accused of killing some of them, but never convicted because there was no evidence. But he does say in these tapes that I'm going to have you, or we're going to keep you for a certain amount of time. Like when at the first clip, when he said, I don't care if you've got a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a wife, kids, you're going to have to deal with that once we let you go. So
Right,
he's given them that sense of hope that this isn't the end, this is just something you got to go through.
right.
But what he did is he drugged these ladies
Hmm.
with a drug that made them forget.
Hmm.
So when they were released, they didn't really know what happened to them. They didn't know where they was. They didn't know how long they were gone. So I'm sure there's victims out there that to this day don't realize what happened to them.
Yeah.
However, and I'm sure we'll talk about it, but he was convicted because some of his victims started remembering once this
Yes.
came out.
And
And
imagine
he
the terror of just starting to remember those things.
like they was having bad dreams and they were
Hmm.
so real. Like we've all had those dreams were so real. Kind of makes you think, did we really go through that shit?
And unfortunately, they did.
So I was saying that to say this, I mean, if there was I can't say a silver lining in this really, really dark cloud, he did mask their trauma afterwards if he could. I'm not giving it
Yeah.
out, but I mean, but that's how he was able to do what he did for so long too.
Yeah. Now, it does get darker. So I'm gonna go
Um,
ahead. We're gonna hit the third and fourth clip, and then we're gonna, you know, dive back
it
into
gets
this.
it gets darker.
It gets darker. So here we go.
Besides, I like watching a naked woman's body. All of it, whether it be in a room or on the TV set. As I've already said, you'll be fed and watered on a regular basis. Not as much of either as you're used to, I'm sure, but enough to keep you healthy. You'll only be fed once a day, like the rest of the animals, and during the first few days, until you adjust to it and your stomach shrinks up, you're going to feel a little weak, and you'll be hungry all the time. It won't take long, 3 or 4 days, And during the first few days, until you adjust to the environment, I prefer to keep you in a weakened condition anyway. Now, you already know that you've been kidnapped and brought here for us to train and use as a sex slave. I realize that being abducted, being forced into sexual slavery is a hard pill to swallow. Some girls really have a lot of trouble with it, and I'm sure that you will, to a certain extent. But face it, you can't get away, you can't say no, you're going to be naked all the time.
I know that a lot of you are thinking, yeah, that is a little bit darker, but as I get to this third and final one, that's the one that y- uh, I can't even put it into words. So let's finish it out here, and we'll get right back to you.
You already know that, for the most part, you're going to be kept in the playroom. But once in a while, we like to take a captive into the bedroom, in chains, of course. Also, we have a couple of real close friends we party with once in a while. They know about our hang-ups and don't have any problem with fucking a slave. You may be required to service them occasionally, but that's an easy one. For the most part, just fucking and sucking. They don't get into the heavier stuff. However, when we have a party, sometimes I like to put on a little show that you won't like at all.
Here it comes.
You'll be taken
Oh yeah,
to the living
I remember this
room,
part.
put on the floor on your hands and knees, naked. Your wrists, ankles, knees, and hips will be strapped to a metal frame to hold your body in that position. The frame is designed for doggy fucking, your ass up in the air, sex organs exposed, your tits hanging down on each side of a metal support bar, knees spread about 12 inches, position similar to that of a bitch dog in heat, right in the middle of the floor so we can sit on the couch and in chairs and watch. I'm going to rub canine breeder's musk on your back, the back of your neck, and on your sex organs. Now I have 3 dogs. All of them's male, because I don't need any fucking pups. One of them is a very large German Shepherd that is always horny, and he loves it when I bring him in the house to fuck a woman. After I let him in the house, he'll sniff around you a little bit, and within a minute, he'll be mounting you. There's about a 50-50 chance which hole he'll get his penis into, but it doesn't seem to bother him whether it's the pussy or the asshole. His penis is pretty thin. It goes in easy, but it's about 10 inches long, and when he gets completely excited, it gets a hell of a knot right in the middle of it. Now, I've had slaves tell me that it feels like they got a baseball inside of them. It doesn't take long. He's going to hump you real fast for about 3 or 4 minutes. While he's doing it, he'll wrap his front legs around your chest to hold himself in position. And in the process, he'll probably scratch your tits up a little bit with his claws. After he gets through, he usually turns around and tries to pull out. Oh, he'll jerk a little, not much, mostly just steady pressure, and I've timed it. The knot will usually shrink up enough to come out of your pussy in about 3 minutes. If he's in your asshole, about 5 minutes. I don't use the dog all that often, but I don't deprive him of pussy either. There's no doubt that he's going to be on you a few times while you're here, because I like watching it.
All right, folks.
Oh,
That is brutal and disturbing. David was very, very disturbing. By the way, before you go any further, I just want to let everybody know that he did die in 2002 of a heart attack. uh, shortly before a planned police interrogation. So, with great joy, he's already in a special place in hell.
Yeah, but he should have suffered some more. I mean, he was
Oh, no
arrested
doubt.
in '99, died in '02, so he didn't spend very much time as a sex slave himself. Um, but yeah. But let's talk about how he got caught. He had a victim. I forget her name. I don't know. Do you have that on top of your head?
I do not.
Uh,
Let me see if I can find it. But go ahead.
there was a young lady. So basically, he was a park ranger. Okay. So he would actually, when he released his victims, he would actually take them in his park ranger uniform, in his park ranger truck, take them to the police and say, "Hey, I found this young lady wandering the lake," or because there's this ginormous lake that he was part of, and that's how he would basically return them. But they picked up this young lady, took her to the house. She went through this whole audio thing, and I think she was with him for a couple weeks before she was able to escape. Um,
Okay, I
long,
found it. Her name was Cynthia Vigil.
there you go. So basically, what happened was is he went off to work one morning, kissed his wife slash girlfriend, whoever was there, said, "I'll see you tonight." Told the girl before he left, "Hey, you're going to spend some time in the toy box." So basically, he had a bed in his house that she was chained up to, but then he had a special place. And then I know some. If you're on YouTube, you've seen some of the pictures of the. It basically looks like a gynecologist chair type bed, and where they would put her in the stirrups, and that's when they would do all the stuff. And it you boil down to electroshock therapy. I mean, a bunch of different things. I mean, the dude was sick and twisted. So was the lady. But I digress. Anyway, he told her, "Hey, you're going to spend some time in this toy box tonight. So, get plenty of rest because he's basically telling you, I'm going to fuck with you tonight."
Yeah, it
But
was brutal.
the phone rang, and his wife was talking on the phone, and she went in the other room on the phone, but she left the keys next to where the lady was, and she was able to get the keys, unlatch herself. As she was unlatching herself, the wife came back in, and they got into a tussle. She was able to break a lamp over her head or some other crap. Anyway, she was able to get out the front door, ran down the street, got to a neighbor. Police were called, and that was the end of the whole ordeal for the Toy Box Killer and any more future victims.
Mhm.
They picked him up at work, and then obviously once they started doing their search, they found the tape, they found the toy box, the toy room, um, the bed where she was handcuffed to, just everything.
Yeah, for those of you who have not or don't have any intention of seeing the actual YouTube video, the room, it's a mess. What show described was just one small section of the entire room. I mean, there were instruments and
Of torture.
yes, instruments of torture everywhere,
Yeah.
various devices, um, just anything and everything that you could think of. And he even mentions, and I didn't play this part in the thing, but he has surgical devices as well. And he quote unquote for bitches that get out of line.
Yeah, he
I
would cut
mean,
off their nipples.
yes. So he said,
Um,
no biting. Women
yeah,
that bite lose. Yeah.
yeah.
So he, and again, throughout the entire thing, he doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't get excited. He's very matter of fact and cold. And that is the scariest thing of all. Um,
Very, very, what's the word detached. very
Yes.
detached from it. The one thing that always bothered me though
Hmm.
is why um, why wasn't the people in this group, why weren't they ever found or convicted? Like, he used to have parties, so he would have bring the dogs in. All those people that sat and watched should all be culpable, responsible in some sort of way, in my opinion, because they seen it and did nothing.
Well, I imagine neither he nor his girlfriend gave up any information on them.
Right,
So it
but you
would
would
be,
think at all that stuff they had in their house, there was some evidence. You know what I mean? You would think.
you would
I mean,
think,
maybe not. Maybe I mean, they did it for so long. Maybe they were on top of their so-called, game. But I don't know.
and that's unfortunate too. And you know, before we start winding it down, I do want to bring this up, two things, because you mentioned that they were on top of it. That in and of itself is very scary. And one thing that the person who, put together the video, if you watch it, he mentions this, and I want to mention it to everybody. Not only was this man very, very disturbed, but we have to stay on top of our game because there are several people out there like this. Don't fool yourself into thinking that there are not. Don't fool yourself thinking, oh, he's one of a kind. No, it's out there. There are people like him, maybe not to this degree, maybe worse, but there are several people out there. You would not know about it unless you became a victim. So
Yeah,
you
they'd be
have to be
behind you at the
very,
store.
very careful. Yes. Keep your head on a swivel, especially you young ladies out there. Um, I'm not
Now, I
saying
will
don't
also
live
say
your life,
this too. Um,
but
One thing that he was able to do, and why he was able to do it for so long, was how he chose his victims. Now, at the very beginning, you didn't play it, but he basically says, "These are who I'm looking for. I'm looking for
yes.
young chicks, early teens to late teens, with nice
Hmm.
bodies." Okay. If he can't
Yes.
find that, he's going to go to a gay bar and pick out a lesbian. If you
Yes.
can't find that, they're just going to pick up anybody on the side of the road that they can find. Okay.
But one thing
But
he
no,
also mentioned in that was they're usually pretty easy to find, and it was
yeah,
very easy for them to bring home.
right. Because they had the art of deception down.
Hmm.
But where I was going with it is they chose their victims in a sense of they chose people that who wouldn't necessarily be looked for right away. That maybe didn't have a good support system at home, maybe trouble with drugs, maybe doing a little prostitution. Because I believe that lady the last victim that escaped, she was a prostitute, and that's how they picked her up. Basically said, "Hey, we're looking for a good time." When she got into the van, the lady came out and hit her with a cattle prod, and that's how they took her. Um, but so they chose their victims. It wasn't just in that, they didn't go to like a college and just pick up a chick, because you know what I'm saying. They had hunting grounds and knew what type of girl to pick up.
I was going to say they had hunting grounds and a type.
Yeah, for sure.
And now, correct me if I'm wrong, the girlfriend slash wife, whatever she was, she's
Uh-huh.
still around, isn't she? And she's actually been released
She's left, got
from.
out on parole.
Okay, now imagine that. Now, now, don't imagine that. But here's my thing: what type of person he was? What type of person would she have to be to condone it and be a part of it?
Yes.
And what type of person is she now?
Oh, I'm sure she's. Let's see. I'm gonna look that up while you're doing that.
I don't think I, I don't know anything about her, but I'm gonna say I doubt that she's completely reformed.
Oh no, no, she was just as just as twisted.
Yeah, and
Cynthia Hindi is her name,
mhm. I mean,
and
if you
she
can find anything
was.
on her, because she might be quote unquote living a quiet life
Oh, she
somewhere.
probably had changed her name, but
Yeah.
she was released in 2019.
Okay, so at this point, she's been out for 6 years. It's almost 7 years, and
I mean, it
it's
doesn't
hard to
say
put
what
into
happened. Just
words.
said she was released, but I just wanted to look to see what her name was and when she was released.
Yeah. She's still around. I can tell you this, just like him, there's a special place in hell for her when her time comes.
Oh, for
And
sure,
her time is going to come.
for sure.
Now, for those of you that have listened to this entire podcast, like we mentioned before, it was very graphic and disturbing because this is the kind of man this was. I want to reiterate, there are more out there. Unfortunately, keep your head on the swivel. Please be safe. We will resume regular podcast programming um, in the next episode. But, Show, do you have anything before we get out of here?
Nope. Just stay safe, everyone. Appreciate you watching. Um, hug your loved ones. Tomorrow's not promised.
All right. You guys take care.